Thursday. That means we are back in nutrition educator Lynn Matava's kitchen. So are you a fan of eggplants? Well, whether you love them or need to find a way to incorporate them into your diet, Lynn has the recipe for you. Let's check it out.
If you've come across an eggplant this summer and you're not sure what to do with it, I'm going to give you a great idea that you can use to make a nice family meal that'll last for a few days too, so you can pack up the extras and take them for lunch. So basically what we're going to do is stuff these eggplants. So all we're going to do here, I'm going to chop off the top. These have already been washed, and discard that. And then I'm going to slice them lengthwise right down the center. And what you get here are this inside where the seeds are and everything. All of this is edible. It's a little bit on the spongy side before it's cooked. So what I'm actually doing is scoring this with a knife, just cutting it a little ways in, all the way around. Just be careful to keep your fingers and everything else out of the way. And I'm doing that so that my spoon can fit in here. And then what I'm going to do is scoop out all of this filling, and we're leaving them with enough of the flesh inside that it kind of holds them together like a boat. So about 1/4 inch all the way around. And what we would first do is chop up this filling, because we don't want to lose all of that delicious creamy eggplant. Eggplant is such a creamy and delicious vegetable, and there are tons of ideas on the internet. This is just one that I like to do because it's kind of self-contained in its own little portion. And then what we would do with this, once we did all of our eggplants, and I've got a total of 4 here now, or actually 3, we would take this and cover this in enough water, maybe about 1 inch, and put them on top of the stove and boil this for about 10 to 12 minutes. We just want it to be nice and soft. It gets kind of translucent, and that's the point where we're going to use it. And I've drained off all the excess water. I'm just gonna push this off my board and get it out of the way. And then we're just gonna make a stuffing for it to put into it. We're going to just tear this all up, and I'm going to add the eggplant back in and kind of stir that all around. And then that's going to get our bread pretty moistened. But I am going to add a little bit of tomato, and this is just jarred tomato sauce. If you had fresh tomato, you could add some of that in there. Again, this is to taste, so there's really no science behind how much you add. I just want it to be a little bit pink and taste a little bit like tomato. We could sprinkle some salt and pepper in here. I've already done that for my breadcrumbs. And we could use this as is and stuff this in the eggplant, but we're gonna actually add a few more ingredients. I happen to have a half a package of Italian sausage that was in my freezer, and a half a package of one of those bags of peppers and onions. So I cooked it all together, and I'm going to add some of that to my mix. I've made this before without any meat at all. This is completely a preference thing. And I'm going to go ahead and might as well add the whole thing in here. So that was pre-cooked with the peppers and onions. And I'm just going to stir that around. And again, we could just stuff these now and do this like this, or we could add in a little cheese. So I'm adding to this mix just a little handful of shredded mozzarella. And I'm also going to use some pecorino romano. This is a cheese that has it's a lot more flavorful. So now I've got these boats that I previously scooped out. They've gotten a little brown. They oxidized just from the air hitting them. There's nothing wrong with that. And stuffing that in there. I did forget to add a little bit of shredded basil, so we'll add that to this one now. I've got fresh basil from the garden. I'm just gonna cut some up and kind of put it in our little boat here. And this, we would keep doing this until all of them were nice and stuffed, and then we're going to put them in a 350-degree oven for about 50 minutes. So here we have this nice stuffed little boats of eggplant. These make a great dinner that's kind of all in one. It's very fun, and again, this is something that is going to be really tasty to pack and take for lunch. So If you get out there and you see something like these eggplants at the farmer's market, or if you have them in your garden and you don't know what to do, you can always look online. You can go to the library where there's tons of cookbooks that always look like they've never been touched. And again, you can try out what we've done here today. So if you try it and you like it, let us know, and have a great week.
Now, as a reminder, we do have all of Lynn's tips and tricks on our website. To find them, just log on to 47abc.com and click on the Good Morning Delmarva page.